be an ambassador for poetry. You know, like an ambassador is? So we have like ambassadors.
Other countries?
Yeah, so it's kind of like I'm coming from a poetry country to your country. So it's to go and to encourage people to write poetry, listen to poetry, to read, to bring poetry into public spaces. So, for example, do you know what a sushi bar is?
Very rude.
Yeah, no, a little.
Okay, well a sushi restaurant sometimes has, it has a little thing that goes around, like it's like a conveyor belt, almost goes in a circle. And
Oh,
there are
they
these,
like a little train?
yeah, like a little train.
Oh,
But in the sushi place, they have little boats.
Yeah, I don't.
Have you seen those?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen those.
Okay, so I was in a sushi place and with some of my friends, and we decided to do haiku. You know what haiku is?
It's like poetry.
It's a type of poetry, and it has. Do you know anything else about it? It has. Nope, it doesn't have a pattern. It has 3 lines, only 3 lines, and there's 17 syllables. 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the back, in the last one. So 5, 7, 5. And we decided, wouldn't it be fun to do haiku in the sushi place? So one of us would take a piece of paper and we'd write the first line, and we'd put it on a sushi boat. And then the boat would go around, and someone would take it off, and they'd write another line, and they'd put it back on. And then it would go around, and somebody else, and so until we got haiku. So we were doing this with just like, say you guys went to this restaurant, and you were doing it together, and then all of a sudden there were strangers who started taking off the haiku and writing, putting them back on. So pretty soon we had the whole restaurant writing haiku. So the idea, like, part of my job as the poet laureate is to get other people who may not think they get poetry or like poetry, to get them involved in poetry. So that was like an instance of bringing it into a public place. Do you have any questions just about the poet laureate stuff before we actually write? Was it? Do you have a question? No? Oh, should I read you a poem first, like to give you an example of what my poetry is?
Yeah.
You want, should I do something, well, let's see, you get a suggestion about one. So, I grew up in Minnesota too. I didn't grow up in Wisconsin. I grew up in, on White Earth Reservation. Do any of you know where that is?
Oh, I thought it was white.
Is he? Cool. Well, I'm going to do this too as we're talking. I just want you to see. This is a book of all Anishinaabe or Ojibwe poets.
Cool.
There's like 31 in here. So I'm going to send that around just so you can see that book. This is my latest book of poems. And then the front cover is a picture of someone at the sugar bush. Oh, that's my Uncle Ike at the sugar bush. So a lot of my work is about the things that I know as an Anishinaabe woman. This is another one of my books. And I'm going to send this one later in a moment because it has pictures of people of my family in the front. But first I'm going to just read you a poem from there. So I'm just thinking if there's another one that might be. This would be maybe a poem that you might recognize the story. Okay, so I'm going to read this. So sometimes poetry has stories in it. And this one, after I read, see if you can tell me what you think happened in here, okay? I have to find it. Okay. It's called Trailing You. Trailing you in stories, and then in the dreams that come just before morning, so that I wake, listening for you to finish what you were saying. Or I sit up, swinging my legs to the side of the bed, brushing, until my feet feel the carpet, and the rest of what I was expecting becomes a dream too. Those mornings I won't talk until I go over it all slowly the way I remember it. Waking up because my nose is so cold, and the fire has gone out in the bedroom stove. Lying under the crazy quilt, peeking out of the blankets that cover the window to see who is out in the yard. What kind of day it is, what's hanging on the clothesline. Feeling the last warmth of the flannel sheets before I swing my legs out and my bare feet touch, not carpet, but ice-cold linoleum covered with bits of gritty sand that stick to my feet as I run into the kitchen, where a fire is going in the cook stove, where you have been sitting, drinking coffee. Sometimes I see your face when you turn. Other times it won't come clear, but I refuse to look at the pictures. I want you more real than that, not to cry over as if you aren't still here. If I could tell you the things I'm doing, bring them to you over smoked fish and coffee, you'd make them over for me with your talk and teasing. Link with your eyes, my past and present. So I trail you, waking and sleeping, hear you laughing as you splash cold water on my face when I've slept too long. See your hands and hear the water trickle into the wash basin as you pour for me. Smell the side pork and hot biscuits. Listen to you call, Kinnadil, as if I were a bird. And in those memories and dreams and stories of you, I find the places you sat and rested while cutting wood. I see the hole you broke in the ice when you fell through, and the path of broken ice as you kept heaving yourself up over and over with your gun ahead of you, all the way to the shore. And I wonder if these poems are the path I make, and I wonder how far it is to shore. Okay, so I'm going to send this one, which has the photos of my family in the front. But tell me, what do you think is happening in that poem?
Someone died.
What was it?
Someone died.
Someone may have died because they... What was that? Memories, absolutely. It's about memories. It's a lot about memories. And the memories that we carry actually help create who we are, right? We become the memories that we carry. What else is happening in that poem?
Someone died from falling in the lake.
So it seems as if someone died from falling in the lake, right? And except the part says you kept heaving yourself up over and over with your gun ahead of you all the way to the shore. So they probably survived because they kept, you know how when in the ice, like if you put too much weight.
It sounds like a warrior.
What was that?
It sounds like a warrior.
A warrior. It does sound like a warrior. Yeah, doesn't it? Okay. So you got the idea of what's happening in the poem, and there's memories of certain kinds of things that we feel, like you know how physical things, certain things you can remember. Oh, I can remember what it was like when I was sitting in the sun on the dock, or I can remember, you remember certain people, you remember certain sensations. Was that eating ice cream and what? Okay, getting a brain freeze. Yeah, that's a very strong sensation, so it's something that you remember. Okay, so let's try do some writing together. So we'll do two things. We can do the haiku, which we were talking about, but let's do something as a group first, okay? So we're just going to see either I or someone in this room have a blank piece of paper. Oh, here. Okay. Actually, we're going to do 3 rows because I think we might need to do that. Okay, so this is called an exquisite corpse. Do you know what a corpse is? Yeah, it's a body, right? So this is going to be a body of work. It's actually, this is a kind of a poetry game, okay? Maybe we should do 4. Okay. So let's think of a subject that we can all write about the same subject first. So give me some ideas for subjects.
Candy.
Candy. What else? What do you have an idea? Trees. Candy, trees.
Basketball.
Basketball. I can see why. There are some really famous basketball poems, by the way. What else? Nature. That's kind of a bigger one, so we might be able to do that because it's not too specific, right? Oh, let's do this. Trees. Okay. Nature. Okay, let's do, can we do candy over here? Even though you're in that row, I'm going to give these guys candy.
Oh.
Basketball.
Oh.
Okay? Did I miss anything you said? You got candy, trees, nature, and basketball. Now listen, here's how it goes. Here's how it goes. Does everyone have a pencil, or at least one pencil per row? Pen or pencil? Okay, so we're going to start with who's ever on this end. Who's ever on this end of your row gets the paper. Okay? Now listen carefully so you know what to do. Okay, so the first person, oh, you only need one piece for the whole row. One piece for the whole row. One piece of paper for the whole row. Okay, so this row is going to write about trees. What's your name? Chris? So Chris is going to write 2 lines of poetry about trees. And then he's going to fold his paper. So, what's your name? What's this gentleman's name? Right here. What's your name? What is it? Francis. So then Francis only gets to see the last line that he wrote. But Francis writes 2 lines, and then he folds it so only 1 line of his writing shows, and he passes it on. 2 lines, folds it, passes it on. Okay? So it's like you're linking parts of the poem, but you only get to see the last line of what the other person wrote. Okay? So let's start, and just see if we can get it going. So the people who are the first one in the row, which one of you is going to be first over here? So you guys are candy, right? And we need one person on, so it's who's going to pass it, okay?
You can't see your first line.
Oh, we need a pencil over here. Can I take one? Okay. For that group. Okay, so and you don't want to show what you're writing. So now his writing is secret just to him. Okay? 2 lines, and then you fold it so only 1 line shows and you pass it on.
Basketball. This is all about basketball.
Okay. So you start.
2 lines.
You're writing about trees.
Okay. Everyone's going to be writing 2 lines.
You're not peeking. You're writing 2 lines, and then he's folding it, and he's going to pass it on.